Good morning, and welcome to Euro Truck Simulator 2. My name's David Steele, and here's me truck. And yes, that's right, we're in a Mack today. We're in a Mack car. Specifically, we're in a long wheelbase Mack car with a sleeper. I'm going to go ahead and fire it up. In fact, let's do that right now. There we go. Get the second wheel lights on. Right. Well, the Mack car, as far as I know, in at least line-haul configuration, was never sold into Europe. Now, maybe some Mack cars, or the chassis was used for, I guess, garbage trucks, or dustbin trucks. I actually forget what the British term is for it these days. It's been such a while. And speaking of it being such a while, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to take a load from the amusingly named town of Brest. City, I suppose, at Brest, and we're going to go into Blighty. We're going to go back to the UK, because what's the worst that happens? Let's take an American truck from France and deliver something in the UK. Yeah. Right, I'm going to go ahead and choose a load. I'll be right back. And welcome back. Okay, we're at, how do you pronounce this? Ika Bohag. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it, but wherever we are, I guess it's the SCS equivalent of IKEA. And we've got a load we're taking to Cardiff today. So this could be an interesting trip. Let's go ahead and get the windows down. For a couple of reasons. One, I'm going to remember what side of the road to drive on. Oh, I can't see Jack behind me. If you see Jack, tell him I'm reversing. Drop the suspension height. Get her down onto her knees, because, you know, the K letter is the most useless letter in the alphabet, right? See, I would say in the English, in the American alphabet, but there's no such thing as an American alphabet. They stole it off the Brits. Putting all that to one side, right, here's me cargo. Okay, kind of matches the colour scheme, which is good. So, about £47,000, and it's Carlisle, so what's that? 910 kilometres. It's a reasonable distance. It's sort of 500 miles, and not much of that is the Channel Tunnel. So this might see a return of the, let's go ahead and accelerate time whilst I drive along, but first things first, yeah, it's going to be an overnight stop, it looks like. Windows closed. Now, I'm going to be driving this in sequential manual mode. I'm going to want crawler actually here. Crawler 1 gear. So it's been a time since I've used sequential manual in the European game. So I'm expecting to have lots of misshifts and so on and so forth, and lots of inappropriate gear changes at just the wrong moment, and that's half the fun of ETS2, right? Well, it can be. Engine under the hood today is, I think, if I got this correct, well, it's an E6 series, but it's a 1974 version. It's the 285 horsepower. I think they called it the Mack 300. It doesn't quite produce 300 horsepower, but I think they thought it was good enough to be. So it's 285 rated horsepower and 1080 foot-pounds of torque. These numbers are not massive. At least not in the context of modern American trucks. For that matter, modern European line-haul machines. It's pretty tight there, leaving. Okay. And we have a 9-speed transmission. So that's a maxi torque. So it's quite an American setup here. See nothing coming from. Maneuver here. Right, let's turn my 4-ways on. My hazard warning lights. It should cause this guy to slow down. It does. Okay. Yeah, this is being a bit of a challenge. Already it's been a challenge, and I've only just set off. That's a good sign, right? Yeah, it'll be fine. Now I've got that onboard computer showing up the middle of my windscreen even. Let's use the British terms, we're going back to the UK. And, a tram even. That's because the dashboard does not show kilometers per hour, and yes, I can convert that just fine, but I don't really fancy trying to convert that at the same time as I'm manually changing gear. Too much for me to think about. You miss roundabouts though. It's not got the massive amount of snap when you pull off, but how much more do you need, right? A little bit more than that. We're also missing hood mirrors, and that's not something that the Macar gets in the European game. But we don't need them. They're just very useful. Thought he was not turning off then. Oh, see, again, I should have just changed down that a little bit sooner. So if you get a little dizzy from all these changes in my steering angle, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to see where I'm going. Okay. So we're at 4 power going up this hill. Full throttle, I should say. We're not quite at 4 power. Oh, another roundabout. Oh, it's fine. We'll just go over the middle. Yeah, so straight away is a bit of an overload going on because changing gear, narrating what I'm doing, figuring out where I'm going, it's quite a lot to keep up with, and I'm not used to driving in Europe. I haven't really kept my head in the... oh, I'm speeding. Really kept my head in the ETS game. Change down now. There we go. See de la passage. Let's nail it off here and merge left if I can, which... okay, well, I guess this car's going to give way. It gave way. .36 miles an hour, and we'll change up into 7. Bazinga. It's hardly a flying machine, let's just say. But it is a pretty chunky cargo. I mean, I don't know whether you'd call this a heavy cargo in US terms. It's what, 47,000 pounds plus the trailer. You definitely notice it. So I tried to make my setup as close as it might have been back in the day. So I don't have this whole 5 mile an hour shift in cruise control. I gotta do this one by one. That's always fun. But if we're in the spirit of doing things one by one, then changing gear is a bigger deal. Let's check my route again. So 47,354 pounds. I should really make sure there's nothing trying to merge from the right there. 16 hours travel time. I've got 10 hours left in my shift. Slowly bleeding speed going up this gradient. We are on our way to the ferry, I believe. Double check that. Yes, we are. Ferry at Roscoff. Yeah. So, despite the area that we're in, the Mag still has that sort of wonderful way of looking up a hill. And this engine is no different. It's one of the original, the Maxi-Dyne. Yeah, I forget the exact terminology used, but the Maxi-Dyne is designed to be ran from 1200 to 2100 RPM. I'm going to downshift because we got below 1200. And it's designed for a truck with a 5 or a 6-speed transmission. I'm using a little different thing, using a 9-speed. And though I do have Maxi-Dyne transmissions designed for the Maxi-Dyne in the Steel Productions engine pack, which is where you'll find this particular engine. Although it's also in the standard Macar and the Z-Mods Macar sound engine pack if you have that. I'm biased because I prefer my own torque curve, but that doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with the others. It's just my preference. Biggest difference between, well, let's say biggest difference. Big difference I'm noticing right now. Well, this Frenchman, he decided he would stop. But is the fact that I've got a giveaway sign as opposed to a stop sign. Let's turn it around there. I think I've missed everyone yet. Looks like these rear wheels and the trailer steer for me, which is useful. So because I've got a 9-speed as opposed to a 5 or a 6-speed, I don't need to use the governor every upshift. But I'm still going to use plenty of revs. This is going to hurt fuel consumption just a little bit, but okay. It's an 11-litre engine, and we've got about half a tank. But the older, less powerful trucks really do make you feel like you've got to work for every kilometre or every mile per hour that you gain. And of course, when you come to change down, we don't, well, it doesn't cover the difference between disc and drum brakes in the game so well. You don't get things like brake fade. At least I've never seen anyone mod that in, which is in some ways is a shame. Do get, however, the quite slow steering, and of course the low power. That's me hammering it off the... I say hammering, and that's me using full power to get up on the go. And... yep, it looks like we're clear behind us. 50 kilometers per hour speed limit, which is about 31 miles an hour. Do I want fuel before I head over the pond? No. I mean, maybe, but no. Speaking French to me, I was speeding. I'm doing 51 kilometers per hour. Something else I noticed about the European game is, well, those Europeans are a lot more stringent with speed limits. So, and I may have lived in the US for too long, but well, did not mean to downshift quite so aggressively there. In the US, the speed limit says 55, but I think what they really mean is, 60, 65 is going to be okay. In the UK, certainly, and to be fair, in France, if the speed limit says 50 miles an hour or 80 kilometers per hour, that's kind of what they mean. It's not really the Pirates code, it's not really an advisory. They actually mean 50 miles an hour. So, it's going to be a bit of a culture change. Oh, and there's no turn right on a red, which I think is America's greatest contribution to society. I don't know, I think Jeremy Clarkson said that as well. And Captain Numpty is me boat. It's probably a ship. I'm going to get off the power right now. I don't remember being to the dock here. And I have been because of the map. Okay, let's get back on. See if I move off in first. It will. Okay, that is useful. So the transmission is configured as essentially a H gate with 2 4-speeds and a range between the two, but you've also got an extra crawler gear. And multiple reverse gears as well. And I'm going the wrong way. Genius. Except this really isn't genius. I'm going to turn around now. I think I'm a little too close to curb here. I might be okay. Oh boy. To this point I feel like pausing the recording till I figure out how to turn around. In all likelihood, if I was on a time schedule, I would probably have missed my boat. Nice big area to turn around here though, which is good. And in times of pretty stressful environment, such as getting lost or having to do a turn, that's when my gear changes really suffer the most, because I'm consciously having to think about them. And if you were in the driver's seat, it's a little different. You get a good feel for when a car, or well, certainly a car, needs to change gear. Steering is kind of unresponsive. Okay, so I'm gonna go back on myself, turn left here. It's handy for the lights to go green for me, but still a little annoying. Okay, that was much harder than it should have been, but the rest from this point is pretty plain sailing. So, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording, and I'll be back once we've arrived in Blighty, where I shall maybe be telling myself, drive on the left, drive on the left. Be right back, once I've negotiated getting lost here again. Well, the boat deposits me in Plymouth. I'm off the boat right now, so I guess, I don't know, maybe we sleep drove. Welcome to Blighty. Welcome to the United Kingdom. Welcome to England, more specifically. So, well, there's my first sign, a good reminder there, drive on the left. That's, yeah, if you've ever driven in a left, right-hand drive country, or drive on the left, or the other way around, of course, it's straightforward most of the time, even though you're sat on the other side of the vehicle, until it's quiet. Like right now, I mean, it's 12:16, and I'm actually going to turn right. Okay, so well, they give me a pretty big clue there. There's no one around. Okay, drive on the left, drive on the left, drive on the left. Now the signs are in miles per hour, so I don't need that speedometer showing on my display up there. I can use my speedometer on the dashboard. Speaking of which, just get me lights on. Okay, drive on the left. Oh, so far so good, we haven't crashed. I wonder if they've got a fish and chip shop in here. Well, they will have somewhere, which is quite where it is, I don't know. Well, my memories of driving in the UK, there are many of them, and it's hard to exactly remember what it was like. There has been a number of years, but I remember it being, well, I wouldn't say draconian, because you get used to it, but like I say, I talked about the whole speed limit thing. Yeah, when they say 30 miles an hour, they kind of mean it. I'm sure the UK's gone worse. Oh, roundabouts. I miss roundabouts. A little different in a HGV as opposed to a car. I'm now going to use the British term, a heavy goods vehicle. Getting a little bit of stutter from the game, but that's okay. Going in here a little quickly. I'm going to use the middle roundabout. Well, I'm going to use the roundabout, really. Turn it around, check my trailers. Yep, it's missing, and swing left. Take the inside lane now. I don't want to cut this corner here too much. It was a little too close there. Nibble my wheels to strike the curb. Well, so far so good. I mean, how hard can this be? I guess we turn left here. To 4th. Yeah, again, I'm a little... I'm not that late on the steering, it just takes us time to turn in. But it does mean I missed the curb, I suppose. Right, up to 4th. Go to 5th, so we're now in the upper range. So we're right on the left turn, and here it's very tempting to stay on the right hand side. I don't know if this is a one-way street. No, it's not. You can see from the signs. So I've got to cross this dual carriageway here. This is not fun. menus first, so there's nothing on the left, which is my default these days, but of course the left is, I don't need to look, I can look right. Now I look left, and there is someone coming. Polizei. Hey up. Are you stopping there for, you numpty? Really? Okay. Maybe things have changed in the UK. Right. Left-hand lane, here we go. Okay. That's my first incident of being a foreign driver in the United Kingdom. Which technically it would be because I don't have a UK license anymore. Okay, well, down to the second. There we go. Tell you what, we kept busy changing gear all the time. Though we knew that. Yeah, we made that corner much, much easier. Right, and we might be getting out of Plymouth, which is good. So I'm gonna be lazy with the cruise control and just tap it up a lot. Actually, I'm not. It'll take forever. Let's do the old-fashioned way. The accelerator pedal. Oh yes, and they mean it when they say average speed check. It's very easy to get busted speeding. It was very easy when I was in the UK. It's even easier now to get busted speeding. And the building cars that don't let you speed easily. You want to get out on the open road and speed limits are down, and yeah, it's a shame. But the other side of the coin is there's that many cars that want to share that much space that they have to police it. They have to try and keep everyone safe. It's just a shame because I have thoroughly enjoyed driving. License plates. I've thoroughly enjoyed driving over the years, and driving in the US is not really the same. I mean, the license requirements are a little different, and to be charitable, I mean, they let kids drive at 15 on a hardship license. When I was 15, I think I was still playing with Transformer toys and Lego. I probably wasn't, but you get my point. And then they're happy to give you a license, and cars are a lot more powerful here. So yeah, you could drive Daddy's big Escalade SUV that weighs roughly as much as Norwich does, and has more power than a supercar from the 1980s. It's not exactly performant, but if you run into something, it's not going to stop easily. Anyway, driving is different over here. Hey, national speed limit, that used to be 60. 97. I guess it is still 60. Can I even get to 97? Well, yes, of course I can. This truck is geared more appropriately for Europe as opposed to for the UK market, but I can do 97 kilometers per hour. Eventually, when I get there. And I'm nearly doing 40 now. Yeah, my foot is firmly to the floor, and we're just waiting. I'm coming up to a hill, so I'm not going to change up. I'm going to keep it in 7th. And the speed's going to bleed. Yep, there we go. Losing a bit of speed, but hey, that's part of the course. That's what you get for driving an old-timer. Speaking of which, one of these views, it's been a while since I've seen that. I still suck at driving on that view. Whoa. Switch to this view, that's better. Right, so there's a church on the right, a church tower, and it's true, you drive through most of the UK and every couple of miles you can come across a church tower. That's just the way that it is. It's too hilly for top gear, even at 50 miles an hour. Yeah, it's not getting up to 97 kilometers or 60 miles an hour anytime soon. Okay, we dropped it down to 7th. We've nailed to the floor, but we've firewalled the throttle, however you want to describe it, and we're still bleeding speed we're heading on the way to 40 miles an hour. We'll crest the hill actually, and then we should pick up speed. Hopefully pretty quickly. Yay, there we go. Okay. Right, I'm gonna let it get up to about maybe 85 or so, like there. And I'm not gonna stretch for 97 right now. These roads seem awfully narrow. Let's quick check at my time. So, we're only 7.5 hours away, and I've got nearly 10 hours left in today's shift. So, actually, I could do this in the one day, though. I might have to pick up my pace a little bit. So, we're due tomorrow morning at 5. From 5 till 11:40. British summertime, it looks like BST. Okay, so actually, I could quite happily take a night stop somewhere, so I may end up doing that. This might be sensible than trying to rush it, but on the other hand, it would make a good video if I wasn't rushing around. Let's get back on the power, get on the cruise control, back on the power, and we'll watch the thing accelerate. And we'll watch the thing at good grief. This is down a hill as well. Okay, let's let this Volvo merge. Oh, there's a Volvo. Oh, I see an uphill section there. My bad. Okay, now we're going to watch it accelerate. It's 50, coming on 50, 55 maybe, nearly. Okay, I'm just going to use cruise. Rolling hills of England. Yeah. And Carlisle is, of course, where it's north, so it's uphill all the way, right? Okay, it's not uphill all the way, but still. I manually tell my cruise to get me to 97. I don't think we're going to get there anytime soon, but that should be 60 miles an hour. So 97 is what's showing on the little trip computer in the middle of the windshield. Windscreen. We're hardly cruising. Our speeds sort of bouncing around from, 45 to 55 miles an hour, and thank goodness no one is trying to follow me, because they'd be driven insane by this. Alright, now here we have a 50 mile an hour speed limit. So, we want a knot speed, because we'll get busted for it. Managed to keep it at 50, which is good. And now, of course, we're too slow, so let's downshift. Back up to 60. Okay. Back up to 60, it said we're already down to 40. I think this is one of the reasons why I've generally struggled with ETS2 compared to ATS, and that is just the map is different. I love driving these old trucks, but the UK is like this for real, in the sense that the speed limits feel amazing until they're not, and it's kind of whoa. Okay. That was close. I think I was going to I'm going to just pull in here and check I didn't do anything untoward. Wowzers. This is pretty. That is very pretty. I might have to take a picture of that. House out there. Okay. Well, I don't feel so bad pulling. Maybe nearly rolling the truck was sensible after all. It wasn't sensible, but I was going to use the left-hand pump. I'm going to use the middle one because there's somebody blocking my way. So what is that? That's pretty. Okay, let's go ahead and fill. Euro 81 per litre. that's about $6-7 a gallon in US terms. So, yeah. Well, that's not so bad. Bought 500 litres. And, right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get back on the road. I'm going to, I think I'm going to accelerate time for this next stint. Something, I don't know. I don't really feel like just driving the whole way through England. I'm keeping everyone along for the ride because there's not going to be that much to see, I don't think. As long as I'm steady and careful. But I don't think it's realistic to try and get there today. I think I'm going to end up stopping in a few hours of the game. I've got 9 hours left. In theory, I could make it. I don't know. I don't know. Do I want to just keep at it? It's on low. It's not that we were like hammering along. We just struggle to keep the thing upright, and that's in a conventional, not even in a cab over. Cab overs, I can see, might be a little top heavy compared to the conventionals, but yeah, we nearly rolled it, not going very fast. All right, well, we're going to keep the hammer down. I think some of the challenging gradients as we head further north are really going to be challenging, but I'm not even at Cardiff yet. So I'm going to have to go over the Severn Bridge. I think so. Oh, that could be fun. See here, again, it's like, that is way too quick for that curve. Good grief. I'm only doing 90 kilometers per hour. Well, looks like I don't go over the 7 either, looking at the map. But we did get up to 97 though, just then. So actually, all said and done, I'm going a little quicker than I thought I was. So, yeah. I just completely cut off whoever was coming up their middle lane there. And I don't feel bad for them because they were tanking along, I think. Oh, stay in the lane. Okay, so we can actually get up to 60 pretty well better than I thought we could, which is wonderful. But the downside there is, I mean, this thing is not stable. Yeah, I'm going to pull my speed back. Yeah, it's really wobbling. It's not the most stable platform in the world. Let's just say, well, I'm going to take a sip of a drink, I think, whilst we drive along, because it's a straight road, right? What's going to happen? Not supposed to undertake in the UK, but I'm also not supposed to use the outside lane. So we'll do this the proper way. We'll just wait for this guy to hopefully move over. I've killed all my speed. That looks like a Renault in blue. I've killed all my speed, so of course now he pulls in, because why would he wait? Why would he just do it whilst I was still overhauling him? Yes, so actually, welcome to Britain, because that happens in real life as well. Okay, and now we're going to struggle up this hill. Yeah, they've added more roads to the UK. It looks like this is SCS. There's sections of the map I haven't explored. There's this road going off to the right I'm coming up to. I'd love to know what that is. Which road it is, and if I've been on it in real life. Road to Cambridge. I'm curious to see what that road number is. I put my cruise at 90 kilometers per hour, 56 miles an hour, because that's fair enough. I'm actually going to need to merge right here. Yep, I do. That's good. Don't really fancy going to Cambridge, as it's the wrong direction. Okay. And it doesn't give me a road number down there, so, oh well, that's fine. After Birmingham, yeah, not really my favourite city to drive in the UK. I mean, there are definitely worse cities to drive in like Stoke-on-Trent. But Birmingham is, it's one of the bigger cities. It's just not fun. I don't like driving in any big city until I'm used to it. Okay, you're going to slow down now. Oh, seriously? What? Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, well, welcome to Britain. Because yeah. Well, I remembered seeing something in the 1990s about speeding, and the headline was along the lines of, yes, you're right, they are out to get you. And this was like, well, 30-something years ago now. And it was an article discussing the fact that the speed is the next big clampdown, because in the 1970s and 80s, drink driving had been a really big clampdown in the UK, and it's embedded in me. Some might say I've been brainwashed, but don't drink and drive. And what they wanted to do was the same, but for speed. Don't speed. And I guess that the case in point was, well, I mean, drinking and driving doesn't kill you. That before you get your angry keyboard out, you know, and write some very offensive remark, on the one hand, you might spill it, but it's not the drinking driving that kills you, it's the poor decisions and poor reaction times and sheer stupidity that follows when you have alcohol in your system. So that's the mindset there, and I'm behind it. Don't drink and drive. If you rely on your car to do anything, and in America seemingly everybody does, why would you drink and drive? People do. As for speed, it seemed to be in the UK that once upon a time it was a bit like the American system right now, and that, well, I mean, I know they say the speed limit's this, but what they really mean is, you know, it's okay to go a few miles an hour over. I'm getting better at spotting the speed limits now. That's changed in the UK. I'm really wanting this red car to go past me, thank you. Oh, it's a Golf, my bad. Okay, I'm just like using both lanes here. So the big push on speed, that's followed through with automated enforcement, in other words, speed cameras that were sometimes known as GATSOs. Whoa. And average speed, so because of course, originally, if you're in a 50 mile an hour speed limit, you could hunker through it, whatever speed you felt like, and then you just slam on the brakes when you get to the speed camera and wander through at 50, 51, and you'd be fine. And they since decided that that was not safe, because why did they not think it wouldn't be? And ended up with average speed cameras. So they average your speed over a period of distance, and they track you along, and if you exceed the speed limit, then you get a fine. Automated, in the mail, after a few days. Yay. Okay. Lumbering up this hill again. Up down a gear. I'm good to do something like 47, 48 in top gear. That's about where the lowest it really wants to be. Get below that, and you can hear it. It starts to grumble a little, and you kind of lose a lot of power. 4 hours left in the drive and nearly 7 hours. Well, at least it thinks that my average speed's going to be terrible in the UK, and good. It does mean that I'm going to get there tonight. I suppose if I were role-playing this, what I'd want to do is find a hotel or a motel, or even use the sleeper of the wagon, of the truck, sleep in a cabin overnight and deliver it the next day. But I'm going to suppose that it's okay for us to deliver it early. Right, let's cut the power. We're together turning off to Liverpool, the M6, which is right. We're not going to Liverpool because I'm going to go past it. I'm going to scoot up the M6. Well, is fairly close to Scotland, which I do miss. I think I miss the accessibility of Scotland as much as anything. That's full power, and we're in 6th gear. We're going to have to change down. Yep, there we go. Down change. We shall not be going to Sheffield or Chuffield. If you call it Chuffield, don't tell them you got it from me. Okay, I'm going to merge in front of. Oh, good grief! How fast were you going, BMW? I think it was a BMW. And 6th gear, full throttle, not accelerating. 30 miles an hour. I can see why a lot of European trucks have 500 and something or more horsepower. 35 miles an hour, slowly accelerating right. I'll take it to the governor this time. Eventually, when I get there. Close enough. I can't strangle this cat that long. Right, cruise back on to 86, so that's about 53 miles an hour, and let's see if we can get there, which right now we are not. And despite the lack of performance under the bonnet, I am still keeping up to my timetable, so that's pretty good going. Let's see, where are we? Okay, Birmingham's behind us. Good. Yeah, I got to explore some of these roads. I haven't explored them in ETS2, so maybe I'll install the 2,000 horsepower engine into the back and have a bit of fun over them. And maybe I'll crash a lot, because hobbling up these hills at 30 miles an hour doesn't really feel like fun at the moment. On the other hand, getting there tonight would be fun if I can do it. Let's just tell people I'm going slowly. And it won't let me use the drive-by view. Okay, clearly thinks I'm a bit of a hazard. I've got one of the Raven sets of wheels on the front there, and they look kind of nice. But I did have to paint them black. Into 20 miles an hour. Right, let's see if we can get a drive-by now. Yay. Well, it's more of a crawl-by. I'm not the only truck that's suffering from up the gradient. Oh, this Renault has got way more power than me. Oh, it has a warning light. And we're still in the 50 mile an hour speed limit, so I'm going to cut power on the way down. I don't want to speed again. Back on the power, I think. Went to top gear way too early, because again we're now losing speed, because why would they give me a straight flat road? Let's take a drink. So the depiction of the fuel stations, the motorway services, is a little inaccurate, assuming this is still meant to be the M6, and it looks like the M6. But yeah, that's a bit inaccurate. However, you kind of have the US style truck stops, which in Britain are generally very overpriced. Get off the side of the road, David. Generally very overpriced, and here's your food, now feck off. Seems to be the level of customer services I used to experience on a regular basis, and that was always fun. Right, let's crank up my speed. Let's see if we get up to 97 again. 90, so it's 60 miles an hour. I keep thinking kilometers per hour. Because we're still some distance from our destination. Alright, so nearly doing 60. Way up to coming up to another grading going up. Okay. Let's see. 3 hours left in the drive, 5 hours left on my time clock. Oh, that's not bad. It's this building on the left. This looks like a cement plant or something like that. These lanes are kind of narrow, so I'm all over them. Again, with the driving on the side of the road and this tight corner that looks way tighter than it should. But I'm doing 90 kilometers per hour, so it's a little deceptive. Keep looking at my trip computer. I should be looking at my dashboard. Flying out. It's nearly 100 kilometers per hour. That's what, 62 miles an hour. Yeah, you're doing 60, finally. And it was down a hill, so we're holding it. Let's see if we keep it on the flat. No, we don't. And it's not flat, it's uphill, because of course it's uphill. But the good news is, as we slow down, we're coming up towards like a kind of tighter corner. So we don't want to be rolling off the road again, that would be bad. I probably should be shifting down, but I'm going to drop my cruise to 50 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour. I'm just going to hold that speed. Hopefully I'll try to hold that speed. I think this corner is way too tight for 60. Speed hold at 50 right now. What's the time? It's coming up at 6:30. Yeah, it's about right. It's getting dark. The sun is low on the horizon, I should say. We want to stay in the middle lane, I believe, because yes, Manchester Carlisle. Straight and level, I suppose one might say. We're not going to Manchester today, so we won't be in the middle lane still. Oh, ideally not doing 40 miles an hour. Come on, Mac. I get it. This truck was designed. Well, it was never designed for the UK anyway, and it was designed before the motorways were generally a thing, and all the highways were being built, I would imagine, and so it was not really built for sustained high speed across the country. That's maybe a little unfair. I don't think the Mac is unsuitable for this kind of trip. I just have to lower my expectations. Something on the left, yeah. I'm going to pull in low now. I think we can move in. And we're slowing down again. Okay, down we go again. cool. And that's halfway up the hill now. It does look pretty cool. Okay. Crank my cruise up to 56 miles an hour. And in fact, we're actually going to make it up to 60. Let's see if we can get up to 60 again, because we've still got a long way to go. It's maybe 2 hours. Well, not that long, actually. About 100 miles. And I've got 4 hours. So we've managed to more or less keep up to time. And I don't have to do this tonight. Oh, I don't like the look of this corner. Okay. Yeah, these next corners look a little tight. It would really chap my hide, don't you know, if we were to roll over in one of these corners. Change down if I'm not careful. Okay. Let's see if we can hold it around about 52. Get my cruise back on. Time for a sip of water. Turn in, like so. Yeah, speed limit's gone down to 50 miles an hour, so we'll punch the cruise down to 50. I should get a disable cruise. Because down this hill we could very easily pick up too much speed. Get my engine brake on, a bit of service brake as well. Service brake, get off the side of the road. Shift down. So that would imply, what's that on the horizon? Oh, it's another cement plant. But I think ultimately what I said earlier on about, I struggle with ETS2, it's a bit more involved. It just means I'm lazy. But as a disclaimer, I think it's more that I want to use ATS and SCS games for just relaxing and enjoying taking in the scenery, as opposed to every few miles having to change down another gear, or slow down, or speed up, or something to avoid falling off the road and getting frustrated. And ETS2 is therefore more involved in that regard. Despite being very similar game engine, it plays or can play very differently. You drive through Germany, of course, and it's much less involved than this, because it's flatter, and you've got well, actually the speed limit is generally 50 miles an hour, or 80 kilometers per hour. Right, so we're going to do 53, 54, crank it up another gear. I'm not going to use these services, although I could. I'll take up 2 lanes, basically. Okay, let's make my cruise at 50, 55. Let's merge again. Let's go to the middle lane. Like so. For a couple of miles at least. Gentle left turn here. There we go. Undulating road surface. So, fuel consumption wise, I find, I think there are some differences under the skin, I should say, between ATS and ETS2. And that's because I don't get the same miles per gallon, the same fuel consumption for similar trips. Now, sometimes the consumption is similar, sometimes it's very different, and I suspect that the map scaling is a little different. Let's get back on my engine brake. We're doing more than 50, we're going to get a speeding ticket. So I suspect that there's a difference with the scaling. I don't think the game engine itself is different. Cargoes tend to be heavier, but mileage tends to be sometimes just a little bit higher, a little bit better. You use less fuel per distance. And of course, miles per gallon is what I have been used to most of my entire life. In Europe, they do kilometers per 100. No, liters per 100 kilometers. So in European numbers, the European fuel consumption numbers, the smaller the number, the better the fuel consumption is. If you use 3 liters to travel 100 kilometers per hour, that's about 100 miles per gallon. And if you're going through the numbers going, that doesn't make sense, it's UK gallons, I believe, opposed to US gallons. I just remember that the 3 was about 100. Of course, 3 miles per gallon is terrible. Or, well, I'll say terrible. It's not really what you want to be getting from a line haul truck. You want to be getting more like 7 to 10, say. So... But 100 kilometers per hour, 100 miles per gallon would be amazing, right? Ooh, I've got an exit coming up. Oh, there we go. Exit colour. That makes sense. Gonna let the speed bleed off. This is probably... I've got to go back on the power. I mean, it looked very tight turn coming up just after this junction, but I don't think it is. Well, it might be. Either way, we're gonna not miss the turn. Looks like we have a roundabout underneath this motorway junction, so I'll check. It's downshift. Tell them where we're going. Use the engine brake. Downshift again. Bit of service brake as well. Yeah, a real steep off ramp. Exit ramp, I suppose that might be called. Drive on the left. Oh, there's a car. I think I'm over the line. I am. He's let me out. Oops. And did not like moving off in second gear. Okay. Note for the next time. And that was on me, because I thought I was in first. And first might have been okay to move off on, might not have been. Okay, this looks like a bit of a hill, so we're going to governor shift. There we go. 2100 to 1500. And the Golf went past me anyway. Hard on the power up this hill. I'm probably going to find a gear that it won't accelerate in. Into the next gear. Okay, and looks like 6 is our limit because I think I'm losing a bit of speed. Well, the first half of the gearbox then is good. The second half is not good for a hill like this. I started to talk about fuel consumption and I didn't give my estimate for what this trip was going to be, and I really don't know. Because on the one hand I've been going up and down those gears and the speed and full power here and easing off there. I would like to think a trip like this in the American game would yield 7 and a bit, even from this kind of compromised old style powertrain. But in ETS2, I really don't know. Throw in the fact that I keep throwing gears out, and you've got that unknown factor of I'm not really used to this powertrain in the European game, so I'm going to hope for 6, but I think it's more like 5. I don't know that, to be fair. So, and I'm not going to look at my trip because I think I inadvertently reset at one point. So we'll see what we get when we arrive at our destination. Again, okay. least it looks fairly straightforward to get to. Okay, we're in danger of speeding again. How fickle the speed is. Right, so turn right and then left, and it looks like immediately left. Okay, these lights stay. If these lights stay green, it would have been good. Okay, I'm gonna put the handbrake on, parking brake. Oh, that felt kind of intense to get here in the time that I had, and I don't think I was trying that hard, but I guess I was. So yeah. I moved off a little too early there. That's fine. That seems to be what you do in ETS2. Oh, well, so again, the low steering to catch me out. The low speed of turning the steering wheel, I should say. Nearly ran into the fence there. Another red light, okay. But all said and done, it's been a good trip. I mean, I didn't crash, which is good. Now we jump back into the cabin to tackle this corner, I think. Now, hopefully this isn't one of those super tight turn-ins. It's not good. Okay. Because they are no fun. So, would this have been easier with a more modern truck? Absolutely. I also wouldn't... I don't know if I'm going to hit that or not, so... Probably wasn't. Though, I probably was. And there's a car tucked up right behind me. Doofus. To be fair, he probably thought I was an utter chump for stopping in a heck of a hurry when I pulled into the yard. So I get that was more me. Okay, that, like I was saying, that was a little harder experience than I kind of hoped. All that remains now then, let's go ahead and shut it down and let's see what sort of fuel consumption that we got. Okay, oh, 715 kilometers, that's not bad. And in terms of fuel used, 284 liters. So that's about 6-ish. 3.78 liters per gallon. Okay. Yeah, actually, not bad. It's 1.62 kilometers. Okay. So it's about what I hoped to get, which was 6 miles per gallon. So in all up, not a bad result. Great. Well, okay. I feel elated that I got that right. But, like, worn out because that was a hard journey to do. Much respect to truck drivers over the years who have just done this and got on with it and basically kept people's lives the way that they are. So, I hope you got something from that. Hope that you enjoyed it. And if you have, you know what to do. If you thought it sucked, go ahead and let me know. Take that rig off. And have a great one. I'll see you the next time. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.